The main responsibility of a man in marriage, according to the Bible, is to love the wife. The main responsibility of a man in marriage is to love the wife. The main responsibility of a man in marriage is to love the wife. It's actually an instruction. It's a commandment. In marriage, men are supposed to love the wife. It's just summed up in those 3 words. Love your wife. You see, God knows how He created the men. The manner in which a man is created by God is that when he loves, the rest that he is supposed to be, the rest that he is supposed to do, he will do automatically. When a man loves, we can come up with a long list, like he should protect, he should provide, he should care. We can come up with a list of all the things that we expect a man to be to his wife. But all those things will come naturally if he loves. So the first and most important thing is for the man to love. I want you to take note of that. I want you to take note of that. The Bible also says something about women. And the Bible says to the women, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. And Proverbs 31, verses 10 to 31 goes on to say, a truly good wife is the most precious treasure a man can find. Her husband depends on her, and she never lets him down. She is good to him every day of her life, and with her own hands she gladly makes clothes. She is like a sailing ship that brings food home from across the sea. Once again, Proverbs 31, verses 10 to 31. A truly good wife is the most precious treasure a man can find. Her husband depends on her, and she never lets him down. She is good to him every day of her life, and with her own hands she gladly makes clothes. She is like a sailing ship that brings food from across the sea. My name is Reed. My name is Reed Yobe. I just want to talk about an eagle. That was just an introduction. I want to talk about an eagle. I want to talk about the female eagle. You know, that creature blows my mind. It actually blows my mind. there are some lessons that there's some lessons that I would like us to draw from the life of a female ego, how she lives her life. I want us to learn from her. I want us to learn something from the female ego. When the female ego is ready for the male ego, when the female ego is ready to start a relationship, because that's what I want to call it, a relationship, because a female ego sticks to one partner that she will mess with for a very long time. I'm sure we all know that egos live for a very long time. When she is ready for the male ego, there's something that she does. Like I said, she chooses one that she will mess with for a very long time. But she doesn't just pick. She tests the male ego, and she might test a couple of male egos before she chooses the one that she will like. And as she tests, she is concerned about the future. There are certain attributes that she'll be looking for. She would like to see to what extent is the male ego tough. To what extent is the male ego tough? Because there are challenges that egos come across as far as their lives are concerned. It's not an easy life. It requires an ego to be very tough and fit to be able to survive, because it's tough. It's very tough. There are some challenges to be faced. Therefore, the female ego needs to be sure right at the very beginning that she chooses a partner that is going to be able to stand by her side and help her and be helpful as far as handling life's challenges is concerned. So the initial stage of testing involves checking how the ego flies, the male ego. So she chooses one male ego and then flies around with him. And if she's happy with the way in which the male ego flies, she takes the male ego to another level of testing. And what she does is that she's going to pick a stick and then flies to a certain height, high up in the sky, and then drops that stick. The chosen male ego, or the selected male ego rather, who is under test, is supposed to catch that stick before it gets to the ground. Before it reaches the ground, the male eagle must catch the stick and bring it back to the female eagle. All the while, she'll be watching. And she will drop that stick again, and the male eagle is supposed to catch it before it reaches the ground. This process might go on for a couple of minutes or even hours. And the female eagle might even go to the extent of picking bigger sticks, bigger than the ones that she started with, or even small logs. She might pick a small log and then goes up again in the sky and drops that small log, and the male eagle must catch that log before it reaches the ground. When the female eagle is satisfied that this male eagle is tough enough, that's when she will decide, or rather agree, to mate with that particular male eagle. If she's not happy, then she will go and look for another male eagle to test, and she will not stop up until she picks the right one. She will not stop until she is satisfied that she will not stop until she has found the male eagle that is tough enough. That's when she will decide. That's when she will agree to actually mate with that particular male eagle. Lay eggs after that, and then they'll raise their eaglets together after they've been hatched. It will be like a family. They'll raise the eaglets together. They'll feed the eaglets together, go out there hunting and bring food to the eaglets. You see, when an eagle builds a nest, it builds a nest high up, in great heights. So it might happen that an eaglet might fall. These are some of the dangers that eagles experience. An eaglet might fall. So if an eaglet falls, the eagle must be able to catch the eaglet before the eaglet reaches the ground. So these are the reasons why during the testing period, the eagle will be dropping some sticks, trying to see how good the male eagle is at catching. One of the reasons could involve hunting, but also one of the reasons could be that. So the female eagle has to know way beforehand that this male eagle that she has chosen to be a life partner is capable of handling life's challenges. So There's an important lesson to learn there. The female ego thinks about the future when she is choosing her life partner. She is concerned about the future. Will this male ego be able to stand some of the challenges in future? Will this male ego be able to lead her, be the leader, and be able to protect the family, to protect the eaglets? So this is a lesson that we as human beings also must learn. How do you choose a partner? How do you choose a life partner? You can't just pick anybody simply because you're ready for marriage. You can't just pick anyone simply because you want to have a baby. A lot of people that I meet, they complain. They are very upset. They are angry at some of the people that they got themselves involved with, because they only got to realize later, after procreating with someone, that the person that they procreated with is not actually a good person. They cannot stand by them during difficult times. Now the woman is all by herself, looking after the children, and the man is completely out of the picture. The man had children together, but the man disappeared. He's no longer there to provide for the children. Or maybe he might be available, but he is lazy, doesn't want to work. Or maybe he's just jumping from one job to the other. He can't stick to one job. You start facing challenges. You start realizing that this person is really not capable. This person is not good enough as far as just being a father is concerned. And now the woman has to hustle by herself. But you should have known better way before deciding to procreate with someone like that. You must think about the future. What exactly is expected of a husband? What exactly is expected of a father? You must know before you get involved with someone, if you are a woman, what are the responsibilities of a man in marriage? What exactly is a man expected to be to his wife? What is a man expected to be to his children? You must know all those things before you get involved with someone. You must conduct a research. Don't let the female ego be better than you. You are a human being. You're supposed to be smarter than any other creature on the planet. You must know better. Are you more concerned about being happy for about 30 or minutes or 1 hour during the time when you are procreating or making that baby, that you forget about the future? That you forget about the significance of the future? You must think about the future first before you think about the 1 hour that you're going to spend with someone in bed. Because the results of what is going to happen in bed, even though it's 1 hour, is going to affect the rest of your life. It's going to change the course of your life. So you must be very careful when you pick. You must be very careful when you choose. You must test to find out if the person is tough enough to be a father, tough enough to be a husband, able to look after you and the children. Do a research. Try to find out, how does the person look after his mother? Does this person look after his mother at all? Does this person look after his father? Does this person look after his siblings? What kind of a person is this? You must know. You must know. You must conduct a research. Try to know a person. There are a lot of things that are very important. You must try to find out way before you get involved with a person. The spending habits, investment habits. How hard does the person work? But above everything else, the person must love you. The person must love you. Because if a man is hardworking, if he's just good in generally, right? But you have to ensure that he loves you. Because if a man is capable of being a father, capable of being a husband, right? Then once, if he loves you, the rest is going to come automatically. If he really loves you and he is capable, a man will support you right to the end. They say a man puts his money where his heart is. So you might be a hardworking man, but if he doesn't love you and you decide to have a baby with that man will still not be around. He'll go out there and look after the one that he loves. So you also have to be very careful to know that this man loves you. And the same applies to men as well. You must be very careful when you pick a wife. Remember that this is the woman that is going to bring your children into the world. And you have to know that children are more attached to their mothers than anyone else. And you have to know that children will love their mother more than they love you as a father. And there's nothing that you can do about it. So you have to be very careful that the person that you choose has got the values and the principles that you love, because they are going to be passed on to your children. Are you sure that you want your daughters to be like this woman? Because that's exactly what is going to happen. Because she is the one that is going to spend more time with your children. And she is the one that is going to influence your children more. So you have to know also that this woman is also submissive and looks up to you as a leader and respects you as well. So that if there is anything lacking as far as the principles or whatever that he knows is concerned, you can also shape her to become something else that you believe is better and good. So that when your children come into the world, they already have someone else that they can look up to, someone that is going to influence them and to become who you want them to be. You want to be proud when you look at your children. You want the best for your children. So in order for you to have the best for your children, you must make sure that you pick the right woman. Don't just go to a woman simply because you're ready to make babies and you want to make a baby. Be wise. in your selection. That's why I read some scriptures from the Bible. You must have those scriptures in your mind, right? As you look around, as you're scanning, as you scan like a Bluetooth device in search for another to connect to, you must be very careful as to see that the woman that you're going to pick has got the values and the principles that you want. She is also hardworking. Look at how she looks after her mother. Look at how she looks after her siblings. Look at how she looks after her father. Look at how she looks after herself. How hard does she work? Is she responsible enough to look after herself? You don't want a woman that's depending on men for survival. There are some who are like that. And they're dependent on other men for provision. And that's very dangerous. You need a woman that is independent, that will work hard to bring food to her own table, that is not going to go out there looking for. Because if she is that kind of a woman who depends on men for provision, what will happen when you lose your job? What will happen if she loses a job? Remember the Bible, when what they say, the marriage vows, for better, for worse. What will happen when you get that point where things are not so good? You both are not making any, trying hard to make ends meet. So you must be very careful when you choose. You must be very careful when you pick. Because as a man, you need your peace of mind. You need a woman that is strong. You need a woman that's tough. You need a woman that is principled. You need a woman that has got the guts to say no. Yes, the guts to say no. Not a woman that is loose, that any man can sweep off her feet. There are a lot of things that you have to consider. When you're coming into a marriage, you need also to be loved. You need also to be respected. You need a woman that is loyal and a woman that will stick to you and you alone. Like a female ego that will mate with one male ego for a very long time. You have to be wise during selection time. You have to be very wise and you must be very careful. Lesson from the ego. We all can draw some lessons from the ego. The bottom line is being sure before one picks, being sure before one gets involved. Well, it's the female ego that does this. Women can learn from that, but men as well can learn from that. Let's not be foolish, but wise in our selections. And if you're a Christian, I would advise that you pray. Pray to God. But be wise as well. This is what I just thought of sharing with you. This is what I just thought of sharing with you. Lessons from the ego. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. The main